With the discovery of Anakin Skywalker on Tatooine, the Jedi, particularly Qui-Gon, believed that he was the Chosen One, the one who would fulfill the ancient Jedi prophecy of destroying the Sith and bringing balance to the Force. Although many on the Jedi High Council were skeptical of Qui-Gon's claims, they nonetheless allowed Anakin to be trained on the basis that he may in fact be the prophesied Chosen One. However, upon Anakin's discovery, Palpatine too became aware of the Jedi Chosen One prophecy for the first time, and further, he understood that Anakin was believed to be the one who would bring balance to the Force. In this video expose, I will explain how Palpatine discovered the Jedi Chosen One prophecy, and became aware of the fact that the Jedi believed it would be Anakin who would bring balance to the Force, as per the ancient Jedi legend. Prior to the discovery of Anakin on Tatooine, Palpatine and his master Darth Plagueis weren't aware of the Jedi Chosen One prophecy. Palpatine's first introduction to the legend came from Jedi Master Dooku, as he was then known, both prior to his leaving the Jedi Order and his fall to the dark side. Months before the Naboo crisis and Qui-Gon finding Anakin, Dooku met with the then Senator Palpatine to discuss the Jedi Master's growing discontent with the Jedi Order. Within the Senator's private study on Coruscant, Dooku admitted to Palpatine that he was becoming more and more disillusioned with the Jedi, particularly with the Order's continued refusal to act as the Republic was slowly sliding deeper into chaos. Having refused a seat on the High Council so that he could devote himself entirely to diplomacy, Dooku told Palpatine that he felt betrayed and unable to prevent a crisis, as the Council refused to allow him to speak the truth about the miserable state of the Republic. Feeling as though he was one man against the galaxy, Dooku confided in Palpatine that he was thinking about leaving the Order to claim the title of Count of Serenno. As Dooku and Palpatine discussed the potential for them creating a political partnership that would work to tear the Republic down and build it up again from the ground up, Dooku confessed that there was more to his dissatisfaction with the Jedi than merely their refusal to act in the face of chaos. Dooku was particularly displeased with the fact that instead of rising up against the Republic's corruption, they were becoming more and more fixated on prophecy, wherein a Redeemer, or Chosen One, would emerge to bring balance to the Force and restore order to the galaxy. Dooku's reference to the Jedi Chosen One prophecy caused Palpatine to be authentically surprised, as he'd never heard of the prophecy before. Legitimately searching for more information on the ancient legend, and having told Dooku that he'd never considered that the Force needed to be balanced, the Jedi Master informed Palpatine that the High Council believed the prophecy meant that the dark tide growing within the galaxy would be pushed back. As Dooku explained that the Jedi were fools to not just fulfill the prophecy on their own by unleashing the full powers of the Force, a clear reference to the use of the dark side, the two agreed to discuss the matter another time, given Palpatine's genuine shock to hear about such a Redeemer. But this was the first time that Palpatine became aware of the Jedi Chosen One prophecy. Months later, as the Naboo crisis was in full view of the galaxy's attention, Palpatine would further learn of Anakin's role within the prophecy. Again, these revelations would come from his future apprentice, Dooku. As Dooku confirmed to Palpatine that he was actually carrying out his departure from the Jedi Order, he turned his attention to the events on Naboo, and how the Jedi were continuing to focus upon the prophecy they discussed previously. Dooku informed Palpatine that Qui-Gon had returned to Coruscant with a boy who was a former slave and who had no father. While Palpatine considered that the boy may be a clone, Dooku discussed the possibility that the boy may have been conceived by the Force, at least in the sense that it was believed by the Jedi. Regardless, as Palpatine inquired whether the boy was connected to the Chosen One prophecy, Dooku informed him that Qui-Gon believed it to be true, and that his former Padawan believed that the boy was at the center of a vergence in the Force, and that discovering him had been the Force's will. Although Dooku admitted that he didn't believe in the coming of a prophesied one, Palpatine became more and more interested in the idea when told that the boy had a concentration of midichlorians that was unprecedented within the Order. Palpatine's thoughts then began to race frantically, as he became increasingly concerned that despite the fact that the boy, who he now knew as Anakin, had been so close to him, and yet he had sensed nothing about him in regard to his potential in the Force. However, from that moment forward, having learned both of the Chosen One prophecy and Anakin's role in it from Dooku, Palpatine began to develop his own plans for Anakin, within his greater schemes for galactic dominance. So there we have it! How Palpatine discovered the Jedi Chosen One prophecy, and Anakin's role within it from Dooku. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for authoring your own misfortune.